Thank you for joining me today to our second Technical Kemping for EMEA in English for this year. And the topic today will be a comparison, more or less, between Kemp 360 Central, our product we have for certain years now, and the new Progress Loadmaster 360 solution. Currently, there are a few webinars going on about Loadmaster 360, so I thought it might be good to just get a little comparison between those two options. First, we're gonna talk about the updates to the channel and Technical Kemping offerings, and then we cover our main topic. So I decided to do it in a way that I first show you Kemp 360 Central, explain what it does, how it works, and also show it to you live in a demo. And then we do the same thing about Loadmaster 360, so you get the full scope of those two solutions. And I even have a slide kind of comparing them to each other about functionalities and so on. Now let's start. What the heck is Kemp 360 Central? So the main idea for it was to have a single unit that is like a glass ball, right? You're a single pane of glass. That was one of the names said. I also thought it's a crystal ball. So everything that happens in my environment, all the different load balancers from Kemp, from other vendors and so on, I can kind of access from Central, and it tells me, are those services running? What services are running? Are the real servers behind there alive or not? So are those things healthy in the first place? So that was pretty good because you could get a good peek. In one location, you can get a peek telling you about all your whole landscape on Loadmasters, if they're good or not. It doesn't matter if there were hardware load balancers or virtualized load balancers on Hyper-V, on VMware, or on the cloud. It doesn't matter. As long as Central was able to talk to them, you could get the status information and the health of those units. Central also had an option to push profiles onto load balancers to create a new service, for example, not to the depth of what you can do within the load balancer, but you could create a general simple service and put reserves behind to get it running. Also, it allowed to consolidate event logging, so it was using syslog. So the load balancer was sending syslog information to Central, and it had kind of a database on all the logs received, and you could kind of filter on those and review that. Pretty nice, actually. It had its own kind of storage for that and allowed you to do that. Now, on top of that, it was a single point to do certain tasks. So you could, for example, upload a new firmware into Central and tell Central, hey, this load balancer pair, I'd like this to be updated tonight at midnight, and please do that. And then Central was performing that task for you, scheduled automatically. Same thing with backups. You could tell Central, hey, pull a backup of this unit at a certain day, at a certain time, and repeat this every week or every month or whenever you wanted. And it was then storing a backup. Also pretty cool. Same thing about templates, right? You might know Loadmaster templates. You can use them for creating new services. You could put them, store them within Central into the repository, and push them then to all the units you want them to be pushed. Pretty good. So that was also an option Central offered. Great. Let's have a look. How does Loadmaster Central looked like? It was an own appliance you had installed in your environment, and you could log in with admin and password you've set at the beginning. And it then gives you an overview on the networks connected or where it found kind of load balancers. and told you, hey, they're all in good health. The services are running fine or not fine. The amount of real service, you see that here in the picture maybe. Health is 100%, so all Loadmasters are there, so that's good. All devices are up. But only 52% of the virtual services are running and only 23% of the real servers are running. So of course there's something odd going on, right? So that's something to look at. So it gives you a dashboard on highlighting those things, and you could then drill in, but I will show that in a minute. You could then drill in on the status of those. You could manage standalone units, HA pairs, both possible. So all easy. And Central was also the server or the licensing server for the Mila or pooled licenses. So in the past we had a Mila offering. Now we only offer pooled, but all of those licenses were given from Central to those units. So you don't have multiple serial numbers. It was all happening within Central. It also gives you, as you see here, now drilled in, it shows you the status of all your applications you're running on that Loadmaster, and it tells you, hey, are they good? Are they not good? Are the services all up? Are the real servers up or not? And I thought I opened the legend here to show, yeah, green means healthy, red means not healthy, gray is not contactable, right? So I thought I show that as well. So that was the main overview of Central. That harsh. You could administer your services, so you could drill in and see on the graph, okay, how was your throughput, what are the metrics, how many SSL, TPS, and connections were going through that load balancer, and you could kind of drill into that on bits and bytes. So that's similar to the statistics view you see within the load balancer, but here you would see that for multiple load balancers, for full network or for a full selection that you have in there. You can kind of generate a graph for all of that. Yeah, as I mentioned already, you could schedule backups and update firmwares all automatically. So that was pretty nice. And on the main dashboard, it kind of showed you an overview on how much RAM is used for the top 3 ones. How many licenses have you activated if you use the Mila, the kind of pooled or Mila option. A general overview on all your load balancers you're looking at. So pretty good. It also allowed you to set email settings, and you were able to get to kind of schedule reports on availability, on throughput, and all of those information. And then a report in a PDF format was emailed to the people you have set there as a contact. So you were kind of, it generated proper reporting on a certain schedule. So that was also pretty nice. People use it a lot, at least in my regions. And the global repository, as I mentioned before, you were able, it kind of collected syslogs, so you could filter on a VS, on a real server, on a certain threshold or a certain severity, and it then gave out only those logs. You could upload firmware versions to kind of push to load balancers, same with templates, and you could review the backups that were stored within Central. And now let's dive into it. I've prepared that. Here we go. So this is my Central within my demo lab. So here you see right now, because I played around, I have one pair that is not healthy, 2 that are healthy. So my health is only at 67%. As you see here, I use pooled, so I have 4 units licensed with a pooled license. Just set accent. You also see log summaries. I have 10 errors that need some solving, and this is the memory and CPU of my of the top 3 units. So I'm able to go into my network, and here you see what I showed in the picture a minute ago. I have 2 WAF service enabled. My health in general is only at 76%. So out of my services, out of my virtual services, 16 are up, 25 is a total, so 9 are down, obviously. On my real servers, out of 61 servers, only 43 are there. And if you look into the sub VSs, similar, I have 20 sub VSs, but only 14 are available. So it gives me a good overview on this. Now I can drill in. So this is the entire network. That means all of the pairs. And here you see I have my main load balancer pair consists of 2 units. I have a second load balancer pair consists of 2 units. And I have my connection manager, which at the moment I did an experiment. So that's why it's down here right now. I've changed all the IPs to IPv6. So Central cannot talk to him anymore. So that's why he's down. And now I could go into my HA pair, got a main overview on all the services that are there. How are they doing? Are they good? Are they disabled? You see that here in gray, that's one is disabled. These are down. And the same in my real servers, I see if they're healthy or not. Also, you see the interfaces used, so multiple interfaces and what their throughput is. Sorry, but this is a demo lab, so there's not that much going on, but just to generally give an overview, that's okay. You also see my unit 2 is the active unit right now in this HA pair. Unit 1 is standby. And when you look into graphs, you kind of can see for the last hour or even for the last months, if you want, we can then go and review on how many packets were going through this HA pair, right? What were the SSL, TPS, SSL? It's a lab, so there's not that much happening. You could also get a list of all the services that are there, what they're named, what their protocol is, and what port and IP address they're using. And you could jump to that load balancer to the login, so that's pretty nice. But also you could create a reboot, schedule that. You could upload templates if you want to and push them to that unit. I can do the same thing with the firmware, upload the new firmware to that unit for a certain date and time, and the same with backups, right? So that's something I could have done. And we can even change syslog information and kind of update the load balancer on those information. You see the submit button, so I can make changes on that. So pretty nice, gives me good overview. All my pairs that I have, I can manage from here. So that was actually pretty cool. This is the for the configuration where you can create profiles, and you could create pools and even with VMware, you could even create a load master based on information you enter here with a certain IP and a certain amount of interfaces and so on. And then Central was kind of talking to VMware to create them there in the first place, and then initialize them, license them, and all of that. So that was something Central was designed to at the time. The repository, this is what I mentioned before, where the logs are stored, where you can upload firmware versions and updates, upload templates to push them, and even have all the backups when Central is used to store backups. We can easily do that. Let's schedule a backup right now just for you to see that. So I'm telling him to back up now. I want everything. When you back up the certificates as well, you need to put a password in. Certificates are valuable, so they need to be protected, right? Come on. So now it created a backup, it pulled a backup of this HA pair, and in my repository, you can now see that there was a backup taken. I could download that and review that. And this is a file that consists the config and the SSL certificates as well. You could also use Central to restore that backup into a unit that was replaced or deleted. You could create certain user groups. You had the ability to even limit down access, so one user was only allowed to read or to not to write, right? So and then you can even say, but that user is then also only able to see the first HA pair, for example, and then the other ones won't be displayed to that user. So that was pretty nice too. Furthermore, as I mentioned before, you can add, or you can add the SMTP settings, and that allowed Central then to email out reports. So you could take a report on the traffic. So how busy was my load balancer the last month, for example, or have all the services been active or not? So availability wise, so it kind of records what's the status of your applications that you have hosted and so on. And you could kind of generate a report on that information. So for example, let's just do this. How was my load balancer looking? This is just for 1 day. So let's maybe bring it down. So from February to now, what was the availability in detail of all of my, so the whole environment network, so everything. And you can either email that to an address or download the report. So now it's generating the report on all my load balancers for everything and availability and so on. And it gives me that as a download. Takes a few seconds now. But you could also schedule that and then it will be emailed to you and you have it in your email database. Now, I should have scheduled it because now it takes me a while. Pity. In the scheduled actions, you see everything that's planned to happen. So if you have reoccurring things like backups, you will see it in there. Also, if there's something scheduled like tonight will be a firmware update, you will see it in there and so on. So everything that's scheduled, you find it in here. Of course, Central has its own log files and licensing is when you use pooled. So these are the things and everything else is just standard network cards and date and time and so on. So here we go. My report. So it tells me about my units that I have with their IP address, and it kind of generated in availability, when was it up, when was it down. So you see that, how many hours, what's that status. And I went for details, right? So there's a lot of info in here now. And further down, we should even see my virtual services. These are the real servers. The non-detailed looks a bit different, so that's interesting. Haven't done this for a while, but you see the whole amount of each virtual service, when were they there, when were they not there, and so on. So that's all recorded. Actually, yeah, for all of you that needed reporting, fancy kind of big reports, you see now it's 50 pages. There you go. Central was helping you on those. Okay. So I think that was a good overview on what Central was able to do. Let's go further in the slides and look into the new product that has been launched last year, beginning of October, Loadmaster 360. So what is Loadmaster 360? It's a new SaaS offering that helps you to get more value from your Loadmasters you have, and it should help you to manage your application infrastructure easier. It's an add-on for the Loadmaster, so you can even use the Loadmaster without it, but it gives you more insights. So you see here already first widgets in there. They give you the main overview like you saw in Central a minute ago, but it even drills down further on information on what's the firmware version, what site is this unit running, is it there, is it not there, what's the CPU coverage, memory coverage. You also see a general certificates check. Are all of the certificates used on those load balancers in order? Are they going to expire soon? Have there some been expired maybe? What is do you have incidents? So is there some errors or something like that? Are there issues that we have detected that you need to deal with? You even see SSO communication. So you have certain virtual services that might have a pre-authentication, and then you can see, okay, which of these services is actually running, and do we have peaks? Are there more authentications on one of those services rather than the other? Even see a window that shows you when is throughout the day, when is your peak times. You even see failed authentication. So maybe there was something like everyone needed to change their passwords after 3 months, and some people have forgotten to put the new password in their mobile devices, and suddenly you see a peak in failed authentications because the mobile devices have not been updated, stuff like that. You even get information on the main IPs that are using pre-authentication. You see the main requests that are going through, what are the main directories used in your requests. And you even see blocked users. So if there's a VIP where users get blocked because, for example, they didn't update their password on the mobile phone, then you see that information as well. So pretty nice, everything in one glance, and you can modify those widgets too. So that's nice to help you to gather multiple information into one location, right? So if you only have one load balancer in your environment, then or one pair, then you see all of that in your load balancer, of course. But if you have more than one loadmaster, you can kind of combine all of that knowledge in here, and you can drill down in those events, which is pretty good. Now, Loadmaster 360, I don't want to say Central 2.0, but it's also a single pane of glass. It should even allow you to get more details than you would have gotten in Kemp 360 Central so far. So it helps you to analyze information on security and performance and health. So we even implement telemetry data right now to see the runtime of each packet and so on. So that helps you to kind of see, are there any application performance issues and so on. You have a certificate lifecycle management. That's something Central was never able to do. So here, Loadmaster 360 can see, hey, when is the certificate expiring? You need to do something about that. We are working currently even on all of those ACME protocols that you can use Loadmaster 360 to fetch those certificates and then use that to push it to your Loadmasters. Also, usability and experience. So it's a modern UI. You saw the dark mode a minute ago. So the data is getting modeled there. It's not kind of refreshing every 10 seconds. It's kind of on the fly. You don't see that the old behavior we saw in Central where it kind of refreshed information every 10 seconds and so on. So here it's all much nicer combined, and it allows you to optimize your overview and your data analysis. Configuration management and deployment, that's something we're working on right now. That will be there soon. It will be there definitely in the second half of the year. So that's something we can't do right now within Loadmaster 360, but it's coming. Same with the policy management and enforcement. So we're working on granular granular access controls and so on. So that's also something that's coming. On top, we have an incident management. So also the syslogs are recorded, but here, instead of just showing the log that it's there and filter on it, it even tells you, hey, if you want information on this, here's a proper progress K-base for it to give you more insight on this. And even if there's an issue kind of occurring, we also provide you with information on how to solve it. So to get an easier access to the knowledge needed in order to understand what this error is about. So where's the value from this product? So it helps you to get insights on your application delivery analysis, and it also helps you to maintain your application availability and performance. It is, because it's a SaaS solution, it does not matter where your load balancers are, if they're hardware, if they're virtual, if they're on KVM, on Hyper-V, on VMware, or in the cloud, it does not matter. We have a little connector in your environment, and all of the load balancers in your environment kind of talk to that connector, and that connector is connected to the SaaS solution. So very, very straightforward on that. And then it helps you to accelerate your issue resolution. So you find out very easy where was the root cause of my issue. It reduced the time of resolution, so that helps to get easier to your easier to do the solution of your problem. So benefits to the customer. Why would you do that? The benefit is we can manage my whole estate of Loadmasters, not only one, but the whole environment, no matter how many there are. I get insights on how everything is performing. I also get alerts sent to me on my application. So when there's an issue, I get an information. You can even say that person should get a certain information on a certain time in the week. For example, only day hours, and at the weekend it's someone else, for example, right? So stuff like that is all possible. And it allows you to visualize all your security, WAF resolution, ESP information, and so on. You see all of that in Loadmaster 360, even what kind of WAF rules are triggered and so on. I show you something more on that in a minute. And it helps you with your certificate management. So you get information on when your certificate is going to expire. Helps you a lot to solve that before it causes an issue. I just remember last year in Germany, we had an incident with Telecom and also with Vodafone, where their services with internet and telephone was down for 3 days. Yeah, the reason was an expired certificate, right? So pretty bad. So if you have something that tells you before a certificate expires to help you avoid those issues in the first place, that's a win-win, right? So Loadmaster 360 can do that. Now, how is this benefit being delivered? So you have a single pane to see all of your Loadmasters, your dashboards, your alerts, even for your Kemp ID, your licenses you have when they expire, when they need to be renewed, is all visible for you. You see the health, the performance, and the security for your application. And you can even get alerts when there is some issue detected, and additional information, as I mentioned before, because it's tied to the database of our K-base articles. So it even provides you with the information where to find information on the solution. And it installs, it's monitoring the certificates installed on the load balancer when they expire, so you don't need to run into any issues there. Now, what is going to come soon? Oh, I see there's a question. What's the price? That's a good question, Radek. That's something I'm taking offline. We can give you a quote on that. But does the product have monitoring of how quickly the real server respond to the health check? That is something that will be displayed soon. I was just going to tell you that on the insights. I was just going to inform that here. But yes, Radek, that's something we can do. Just going to explain that here. So this is something they currently work on. It will be in the first half of this year. So I think in the last upgrade, they already implemented parts of it. But this is something we are now using Flowmon capabilities, right? Not the entire Flowmon, but some capabilities of the knowledge that the load balancer has to get detailed information on what is going on. So it tells you the traffic flow for the load balancer per application basis, even the response time of servers and so on. So it gives you all of these details to get more information. Where is the connection coming from? Where is a potential issue? So if there's something that the server is not responding on time or the packet is delayed and stuff like that, it's showing up. And this is something where we are, I mean, this is a mock-up picture, but this is the first, it will be in the first half of the year, we have this included as well. Now, so that's one of the things that is coming. The next thing, there was a project with the guys of the core rule set for the WAF offering that we want to help you to get more insights on the WAF, false positive identification, and even WAF rule tuning. So there's a partnership with the OWASP mod security community, and it allows to give information on what kind of rules are triggered, when are they triggered, where did they come, where did the clients come that trigger those rules, and so on. Are they a false positive? Are they not a false positive? So it's presenting you with an easy way to understand how the formatting works. And it even allows you to automatically generate a rule to fine-tune your WAF setup, and you can then push that to the load balancer. So that's pretty nice. So it allows you to get more insights and easier fine-tuning on your WAF information, and also that is in the first half year this year. And the third thing that is coming is a real server monitoring. So rather than only monitor everything that's on the load balancer and going through, it's even now the real server performance on, we want to actively monitor the performance of the backend application servers. So there's some pieces of WhatsApp Gold that play into this one here. So it brings together the incident center and root cause analysis to show you, hey, there's an issue. So that's more relating to the question Radek had earlier, gives you insight on how are those servers performing, and is there anything between the load balancer and the server that's not in a good way. Now, there's a few more questions. So sorry, let me just read through them and give you an answer on that. Is coming. So let me just answer those questions here as well in the chat. What's the price? Something we cover differently. Actually, I've removed all the slides on price. Gosh, I should have added them. If you have a license for Loadmaster, for Kemp 360, will this be valid for Loadmaster 360? How long will Kemp 360 still be supported for? So Matthew, if you have a license for Kemp 360 Central, it is something completely different to Loadmaster 360. So they're not, one license is not there for both of them. Kemp 360 Central is still there, and it will not be end of life soonish, but it does not receive many updates anymore. Let's say it that way. So from what I can say there is, when we take something end of sale, it still is supported for another 5 years. So far, Kemp 360 Central is not end of sale. It's still there. It's still a product used. And I show you in a minute why it's still used and still needed. So from that perspective, there's more than 5 years on Kemp 360 Central still left. With Loadmaster 360 being SaaS, I take it that it is online in the internet connection. Yes, Loadmaster 360 is a SaaS solution. So what you need is a little agent need to be installed. It's like a little mini load balancer without any GUI and so on. It's collecting information of your load masters, like syslog information, and that little connector is connected to the SaaS solution here in order to kind of display all of that information and also send APIs to your load master to perform, for example, certificates updates and so on. So yeah, it's something that it's right now needs a connection to the internet here. It's not working on a completely off, completely locked off environment. I have been told they work on a Loadmaster 360 version that can run offline, but I don't see that for the next couple of years. I don't see that in the next 2 years, to be honest. Nice webinar. Any plan to develop a plugin for Zabbix? Then yeah, I need to take that to the product management team. I will answer that question later. There's another question now for Kemp Central. So it's not going away right now. It's just not getting developed further. Let's say it that way. Kemp 360 is still there. It still has some features that Loadmaster 360 cannot do as of now. So it's still supported and still be a minimum of 5 years supported. But we are not planning on removing it at all yet. Now, but you're already kind of excusing yourselves here in the questions. I'm not done yet, guys. I'm still in the middle of a presentation. I was going to demo you some Loadmaster 360, and then I still have my comparison slide, right? So you're way too fast. Here we go. We need a browser. So to get to Loadmaster 360, you need to go to portal.kemp.ax. Then you log in with your Kemp ID. This is not the one I need. This is the one I need right now. And now I'm in the SaaS solution for my demo environments. So there you see, this is the main overview right now. 13 applications are there. 1 is healthy, 6 are warnings, and 6 critical. So there's something odd going on in my lab right now, but that's okay. And here you see why. Out of my 4 HA pairs that I have, the connection manager is unreachable. I mentioned that earlier on. That is because I made an experiment, and right now it's on IPv6. It's out of the game. This is my first HA pair and the second HA pair you saw in Central a minute ago. And this is another environment I have in the US in a different VMware lab. And right now that's turned off. So because of storage information there. So those units are down right now. And there you see that one is not reachable. You see it was a connection manager on version 7.2.59.1. And you see even the details of my load balancers that I have here right now, VLM 3000, VLM 500 in a pair, what firmware versions they're running, what the CPU and the memory is. And you get general Loadmaster health. I have an information on all my certificates. I have 4 certificates. They're all in a good way. 1 is less than 90 days before it's expiring. The other 3 is more than 90 days before they expire. So that's good information for me. Right now, there's no incidents that need my attention. And yeah, as I said, it's a demo environment, so there's no SSO right now happening. But you see there's a general active SSO session pane. There's a successful authentication and a failed authentication pane. And I even have the ability to show my top 10 directories that are requested, the top 10 client IPs that are using my environment, the active block list if people are blocked because of too many wrong authentications. So this is a main overview. I also have a pre-made dashboard about connections and CPU usage and so on. And there's another already pre-made dashboard just on ESP information right now, but I can create my own one as well. These are the ones that are there by default. Now, more interesting is the incident center. So let me just see if I have something there in the last 30 days. Unfortunately not, but I was maybe in the demo mode, I can show that to you. So if there's an incident happening that something is unresponsive, you get detailed information on why or what happened there. And you can see, okay, what was the connector reporting it, what was the load balancer involved, and you can even see K-base articles for this, a description on this, and even check if there have been configuration changes that might create this in the first place. You see related issues that kind of are based on this also, and you can even have a monitor here on how often has this also occurred in the last month, so you can even see if there's a pattern that this happens once a month or once every quarter and so on. You can even drill down to that as well, so that's pretty interesting. Also, you can set communication channels, so for example, who should be contacted when and for what, and you can even set rules on should I contact that person for all topics or only for a certain thing, so only one load balancer, for example, or one application only for specific severe things, or for everything only on certain days or certain hours and so on. So you can drill that down to get the communication all nicely drilled out. You can review all the real servers that are there, and you get the status of them, how they are performing. So you see my real servers here on IPv6, they're all healthy. This is my VMware environment. You saw the center a minute ago. You see the load balancer where this real server is connected. You see the application and the VIP. So all of that information is there, and then you can even drill down into that application. So this application consists of multiple different ports, and you can kind of see, okay, how is that doing in the last few weeks? How was that service performing and so on? So that's pretty nice. It allows you nice insights. You see for my Kemp ID, the licenses. So as is the training ID, I have tons of trials that were used and that are expired. So you see 251 expired trials. So that's just the nature of this license. You can see my sites. I have two sites, as I mentioned before, the VMware Cloud and the US lab. I can review all the certificates that are there, where they're used, where they're installed, when do they expire. So all of that information is pretty handy. Right. What can I not do? I don't get a printed report like I did on Central. I don't have that here. I can't license my SPLA or my pool yet, but it's coming, but I can't do it yet, right? I can't pull a backup into the SaaS solution of my config of a load balancer yet, at least. I mean, it might still come, but I can't do it right now. And I cannot create a new service here and push it to my load balancer. I know they're working on that, but right now I can't do that. So you see, there are a few things Central was able to do in a certain amount, a certain way, that Loadmaster 360 cannot do. But on the other hand, I have a certificate information, I get details on my real servers, I have multiple sites, I get dashboards on my performance, I can even drill into the users that are on. So I have that all in my load balancer, but I was not able to see any of that in Central. No, but here I get all of that information to help me. So that's really the idea here, is not to have a central management, is more to be able to utilize information the load balancer had all along, but no one was able to tap into it. And now I can utilize all of that information to kind of get a better overview on everything performing. Now, there are a few questions running in here. I will just read them out and try to answer them quickly on the audio line here. How well does Loadmaster 360 fit into the MSP? It fits there perfectly, to be honest, because if you have SPLA units, you can an MSP is able to kind of review everything and keep it all in line within Loadmaster 360. And you can even add the customer in as well to see only their own load balancers within this solution. So that's pretty nice. So for an MSP, it probably works brilliantly. Yes, so you can create, Eric, yeah, that's exactly what I said. You can create users that can only see their own load masters and they only get informed about their own load masters and so on. Now, Sebastian, when would you recommend the Loadmaster 360? How many clusters Kemp should? To be honest, even with one HA pair, you have benefits in Loadmaster 360 because you can see it in a much nicer way than what the Loadmaster is able to show you. To be honest, the focus on the load balancer is the job, on the application experience. It's not the administrator feel and look. So there is information in there you can see, but in the browser window, you all saw the Loadmaster logs, and sometimes it's a pain to read through them, right? Here in Loadmaster 360, it's built up much nicer. It's collected much nicer that you can actually make sense of it. You can still drill down into it, but it's displayed right away in a much better way. So you already have a benefit if you have one Loadmaster. Can you still update clusters and load balancers? So you mean, oh, that's a good thing. Let me look at that. So right now, this, you see my HA pairs. I can drill into those. So that's the HA pair. You see the different load balancers there. And if there would be a load balancer where the firmware, for example, is outdated, so you see this one is up to date, obviously, but if I go to a different pair like this one, you see here it tells me, hey, there's a new firmware available, and it needs to be downloaded. So it will then, when I click on this, it will bring me to the place where I can get those firmware. So it's not pushing it yet, but as I said, that's something we're trying to work on and to implement so that you can schedule an update. But right now, it's at least it's tell you, hey, there's a new one and you can download it. So that's a good thing. Central was not able to do that. So from that perspective, the pushing and the scheduling of certain tasks is something we're working on. Right now, you get the information if there's a new one, and you get sent to the place where to find it. So it's not entirely what you asked for, but we're on the right track, I say. Okay, so with that, I would like to finish my little demo on Loadmaster 360 and just go down to a little comparison I made up yesterday. So this is features on, I mean, not all features, but kind of a lot, I'd say. So between Central and Loadmaster 360, they can both monitor your virtual service and your real server health. Yes, we see that in both. Reporting wise, yeah, they give you some, I mean, Central was able to show you some dashboards and some information and was able to give you a written report. The written report you don't get in Loadmaster 360, but you get nice dashboards with more information than what Central could do, and you can go into the past there, but you don't have a written report. So, but both of them do reporting. syslog wise, Central was receiving syslog of the load balancer, and you were able to show them and filter on certain aspects, even though the filter sometimes was a bit odd. With Loadmaster 360, we get the full amount. You even have an incident center. You get directly information with K-bases, what that error means, why is it there, when has it occurred, has it been occurred before, is there a pattern with that, was there a configuration change that caused this in the first place, and so on. So yeah, definitely an advancement to Central here. To receive pooled licenses, right now, only Central can do that. Loadmaster 360 cannot do it as of now, but we're working on it to be able to use Loadmaster 360 in future for the licensing server, for SPLA, and for the pooled licenses. To push firmware and templates, Central was able to do that. Loadmaster 360 cannot do it right now. Let's see for how long. Right now, it can't, but it gives you information that there is a new firmware available, and it brings you to the place where to download it, and then you can push it into your Loadmasters when you feel like it. But it cannot actively push it there right now. Schedule an automated backup. Central was able to do that and was storing it in its own hard drive. The SaaS solution is not doing it yet. That doesn't mean it's not technically possible, but I believe the reason for that is because being in the SaaS world, I think it's a data security kind of topic, and that's why it's not been implemented yet. I'm pretty sure they're working on a solution for that too, so let's stay tuned on that. Certificates health check, that was something Central never could do, but Loadmaster 360 can, and that's pretty cool. The incident center, as I mentioned before, getting information on support tickets, getting information on KBase articles and so on, reoccurrence, that's something Loadmaster 360 can do. Central was never able to do. Changing the config of a Loadmaster, like your syslog settings, or pushing a new profile onto a load balancer, that was something Central was able to do, even though those profiles or the services in the profile were minimalistic. There was no WAF, there was no ESP, there was no sub-VSs and stuff like that. So that's why I'm saying minimalistic. But Central was able to do something there. In Loadmaster 360, we're working on it. It will come soon. User insights, as I mentioned it before, real server monitoring, user insights, and WAF insights, as I told you, that's all something we have on our list, and that is worked as of now. So that will be there in the next update of Loadmaster 360. There's a lot of features that Loadmaster 360 can do and gives you more insights than what Central was ever able to do. Okay, cool. I hope you enjoyed this webinar with me today. We're 4 minutes ahead of schedule, so I give you those 4 minutes back. And it was a pleasure to have you here today. I hope you liked it. And I hope to see you again in May for the next topic. Cool. Have a good week. Bye-bye.